Are you a fiction writer who's thinking about going into the lucrative niche of romance publishing? Then you may want to hear me out today, where I'm going to give a full review of the Romance Publishing Academy. Stay tuned. Hey, I'm Dale L. Roberts, a best-selling author as well as a self-publishing advocate who wants to show you how to publish books that sell. Stick around to the end because I'm going to give you a couple of free resources when it comes to publishing romance books. Okay, so full disclosure, Romance Publishing Academy is the sponsor of this channel at the moment, and they also gave me complimentary access to their video portion of their course. So I have to say this in advance because there is a sponsorship as well as an affiliate relationship involved. But I'm still going to give you all the goods. I'm going to tell you exactly what's involved in Romance Publishing Academy. I'm going to give you some of the pros and the cons, and again, some free resources at the very end. So what exactly is Romance Publishing Academy? Before we put the cart in front of the horse, I think it's good to understand exactly who's behind Romance Publishing Academy and how I got to know them. This past year, actually, in Los Angeles at Vid Summit, I had the pleasure of meeting in person and spending 3 days with two remarkable people that are the founders of Romance Publishing Academy, and Jacob Rothenberg as well as Sunana Singh. Now, both of these individuals have been crushing it in the self-publishing business. Jacob's been doing it for a couple of years as well as Sunana, and each of them have been running their own individual fiction publishing businesses and have excelled in that department. And I remember we were just sitting down having just a casual conversation, just chatting about YouTube and everything else in between when they had brought up the whole thing of Romance Publishing Academy. This is when it was just kind of in the works. It was in development. And they said, hey, you know, when it comes out, would you mind kind of speaking with us about possibly showcasing it on your channel? Now, I get a lot of offers to showcase people's services, their courses, and things like that, and I turn down more people than I actually accept because I want to make sure that this works out. But after a few days of spending time with Jacob and Sue, I came to really find that they were honest, refreshing individuals. So I was definitely receptive to seeing what Romance Publishing Academy was all about when they approached me in December. So essentially, Romance Publishing Academy works like this. They have a video course as well as a full coaching program that goes with that video course. And what really sets them apart from the rest are a few key features. The main one being is their coaching program. And their coaching program isn't just simply one-on-one attention, it's actually two-on-one attention. So you're working with two best-selling authors and publishers in Jacob and Sue, and they're really invested in the process and of course in seeing you become successful. And part of the whole system of you getting into Romance Publishing Academy, it's, there's a higher barrier of entry. Now, not only does it cost at a higher premium, but they also want to make sure they're fully vetting each student to make sure that it is a good fit. So not everybody's going to get into the coaching program. It's not like they're just like, hey, here's open enrollment, go ahead and sign up. Yep, you got a pulse, you've got the money, let's go ahead and do this. No, they actually sit down with each and every student they're going to work with just to make sure it works out for them. And even if somebody doesn't work with them, they at least give them some marching orders and some things that actually help them grow their self-publishing business. I think it's important for us to discuss who is this for. So we know right away, this is definitely for romance writers, those people that are writing romance books somewhere in the niche, be it clean romance or steamy romance or any of the other sub-niches. Either way, this program's going to be for you. They're also looking for anybody that's in the beginner to intermediate phases. So if you find that you're a little bit more advanced, you may not work out for the program, but I don't want to be the person that tells you that, because again, you want to have a call with them in which they can say yay or nay, and again, give it to where they give you some advice that's the best steps forward for you. Okay, so I didn't take their coaching program, full disclosure. I didn't feel comfortable in taking their time and getting it to where they were coaching me so I can get the full experience. But I have heard from some of the people inside their community over on Facebook, they are really, really happy about how they interact with them. So that is a big kudos when you can hear a community that is super happy with these two coaches. So this entire review that I'm going to give you on Romance Publishing Academy is going to be really centered more so on some of the things that I see on the exterior, such as the 2-on-1 coaching program, the advice that you're going to be getting, the Facebook group, things like that. And more importantly, it's going to lean a little bit more towards the video course itself, which is over 8 hours of content and dozens of videos. And they want to make sure that you're not just going and watching and binge watching every single one of these videos, 8 hours of content, and you're peeling through it and your eyes are all bloodshot and you're like, oh, I got it all. I learned it all in a single day. No, they want to make sure that you're learning it one bite at a time. So they actually trickle out the content over a 5-week period. And during that time, they're making sure that you have marching orders, that you are following through with certain items, that you're taking action on some of the things that they're asking you to do within the actual course itself. As far as the videos go, there are no frills. There's nothing, fancy here. They cut right to the chase. They say exactly what you need to know and none of the fillers. So I've actually had some video courses before that will masquerade as, say, a certain type of a niche / publishing. And I'll go in there and it turns out it's more of like a blanketed approach and them trying to just, give you everything in the kitchen sink. Whereas with Romance Publishing Academy, they were a lot more dialed in. It is about romance and nothing else. You're not going to expect to go in there and find something about science fiction, fantasy books. No, they're focused 100% on the whole process of understanding romance tropes, doing the research, finding the right keywords, getting cover models, getting covers done. And they really it's honestly very refreshing to see somebody who's doing a self-publishing course that is niched down to a specific topic without them spilling over and giving you other things that they haven't already just pretty much said, hey, look, this is what we're doing. So there are some pros and there are some cons to the Romance Publishing Academy. And I'm going to talk again about the actual exterior things that I see from the outside and of course the things that are within the video program. So let's start it out with the pros of Romance Publishing Academy. Starting out with their guarantee. They actually have a very interesting guarantee. You most times will see a guarantee of a year, guarantee or your money back, that type of thing, or 30 days and your money back, or 14 days and your money back. You get what I mean? But their guarantee is way different. Their guarantee is that you recoup the investment that you put into Romance Publishing Academy, and they will continue to coach you until you do recoup that investment. That right there is a big guarantee. To me, I don't think there's any guarantee that could beat that. They're like, hey, we will work with you till the end of time if that means that you're going to make your investment back. But I know, speaking with Jacob and Sue in a private conversation, they assured me that it wasn't going to take that long for a person to recoup their investment, because that's something that they talk about in the introductory session where they give the consult so they can kind of figure out where a person's at in their life and kind of, hey, can we get them to recoup this investment? Will it make sense for us to partner with this person? The deliberate pace. Okay, so this is really refreshing again in that you have 8 hours of content. And if you're like me and you enjoy learning something, one of the things you're going to do is almost like a Netflix season. You're going to sit down and just binge watch it. But the problem is, and they've even expressed this to me, is that when you binge watch the content, you're only going to absorb a fraction of that information. So they would rather that you just take it into bite-sized pieces, go back, take some notes, write it down, and then follow up with them in the coaching sessions. That way it's sinking in and you have this information for the long term. And then there's the overview. Now, I said this before, it is probably the most comprehensive overview without all the fluff when it comes to romance publishing. Yeah, you're not going to be getting a bunch of extra things in here that makes no sense. It is all about romance publishing. So if you're sitting there thinking to yourself, well, I'm a horror writer, maybe they've got the right information for me to apply in, my business. There's gonna be some things, yeah, sure, it could work, but they are very, centered on romance publishing and nothing else. Okay, so let's discuss the cons of Romance Publishing Academy. And one of my concerns is it comes at a higher premium. So you might see a lot of self-publishing courses out there. You can go to Udemy and get one for $30 or $10. And you get some that are say $7.97 or even a couple grand. It varies all over the place. And, for the most part, if you were to just do a little bit of research, you'll find most self-publishing programs come at about $700 and they're forward with that specific premium. But, Romance Publishing Academy is a bit different. And remember that they're doing this full vetting process. And I also want to, just make a bit of a callback to the guarantee that they have. So when you sit down with them in their initial consult, they're going to kind of discuss with you the premium that it comes at and if it's going to fit in your budget and if it's going to make sense as far as a partnership goes. So though it's a higher premium, I feel like there's higher value being delivered and they're very transparent when you sit down with them for that initial consult. Number 2, a killer video course as a standalone product. Okay, so I said about the premiums of everything else. I looked at this course and I'm like, it's a stellar course. I mean, honestly, I really was tempted to just binge watch the entire thing in a whole day, but I made sure to stagger that out and get the full experience of Romance Publishing Academy. But here's the thing, and what you need to understand is they are invested in you. They're invested in you in that you've put your hope, you've put your trust, and of course you've put your finances into Romance Publishing Academy. And what they believe is if they just gave you the course by itself, there's first of all less context and less accountability. So a person can go through and say, I watched all of Romance Publishing Academy and I didn't get any results. And see, they don't want that. They don't just want to have a course out on the market and get it to where a person's throwing shade on their product saying, well, I didn't get any results, because they are, of course, doing the guarantee again with you that, hey, we work with you 2-on-1 and you get the video course in addition. Now, I do understand that it just wouldn't make sense to put it as a standalone product, but there is a portion of me that goes, man, that would be really, really awesome for the people that are self-starters, for those that are able to do some of those things on their own. But I totally get it. It's only part of the coaching program. And number 3, do the work to get the results. Okay, I say this on my channel all the time, all right? I give advice to people and some of them come back and say it doesn't work. Well, did you put the work in? Because you won't get the results if you don't put the work in. And this is something that they stress on a couple of occasions, that you have to do the work. It's not a case of you cherry picking the things that you feel like doing and the rest of it, I can go without that. With their guarantee put in place, they want to make sure that you're successful. So there's no cherry picking. You do the work. And hence why, again, they've got the whole coaching program to make sure they're holding you accountable and they're also ticking those things off the list as you're going through them. And just getting to know Jacob and Sue, I have to be straight up honest with you and know that you will give up on yourself long before they'll ever give up on you. And it speaks so much of their character. And Romance Publishing Academy, that is a big deal. So yeah, number 3 seems like it's a con in that, it's a bad thing that you've got to put the work in to get the results. But guess what? Those 2 put in the work to get their results. So they expect for you to do the same. So they're not going to ask you to do anything they wouldn't do or haven't done themselves. So overall, I'm really happy with the Romance Publishing Academy. At least the video course side of things, I can tell you it gets 2 big thumbs up and a banana sticker for all the efforts that they've put into this course and continue to put into it, because I understand they're going to be rolling out even more content in there. To get started, folks, all you got to do is head over to dalelinks.com/romance and you can download the Romance Secrets Playbook. Immediately afterwards, you can book consult with Jacob and you actually can get to sit down with them. There's zero pressure, okay? This is a guy that honestly, it's not like a used car salesman. You're not going to feel like, I've got to buy it right now. He's going to figure out what's going to work out and if this partnership makes sense. And even if you don't get the Romance Secrets Playbook, I'd recommend that you actually go over to the free Facebook group, because Sue is always dropping seriously great knowledge, and she's sharing case studies and she's showing you the actual names of the different authors that she's actually working with and growing and getting to the top 100 in the Amazon store. That is pretty stellar. You actually head over to dalelinks.com/romance group to get yourself into the group. Make sure that you answer the questions and tell them that Dale sent you. And speaking of romance obviously is one of the hottest niches when it comes to self-publishing. And I actually talked about 5 mega hot nuclear niches you can get into for 2020. You're going to take a look at it in the next video down below. Go ahead and click that. Just go ahead and click it gently and I will meet you over there. See you then.